The Sisters Grimm podcast is intended for mature audiences only. Please listen at your own discretion. Tiptoe through the window.
The blackest eyes, the devil's eyes.
If it doesn't fit, you must acquit.
The most notorious serial killer in the nation, the Night Stalker.
The Boston Strangler.
The Son of Sam. The infamous Zodiac Killer.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Get away from her, you bitch!
Welcome to the Sisters Grimm podcast.
How'd you do this? Show you.
Welcome back to the Sisters Grimm podcast. It's episode
Welcome back.
50. Welcome back.
Oh, I like from the break
From last episode.
from the last episode.
How'd you guys like it?
30 years ago. We've
400 years ago.
It was 5 years.
In Azkaban!
I think it was 12. And a bottle just popped out of nowhere.
So, you guys,
I'm Holly.
and I'm Morgan, and we told you.
Number 50, y'all.
You already know because you've already seen this episode and clicked on it. Fucking John Wayne Gacy.
Ooh, ooh. We've been waiting a really long time. This is episode 50.
Yeah, so we thought it was
I got you a golden bust of John Wayne Gacy.
I got you a golden necklace of his face.
Oh, pretty.
It's like a locket.
Aw.
And so inside you can put a picture of Tuesday.
And Pogo. I'm gonna put a picture of
Pogo the Clown. Yeah.
Pogo the Clown. So this episode is about John Wayne Gacy.
We have a lot of fun nicknames for John Wayne Gacy.
We do.
J-Way Gay.
J-Way Gay. I made myself laugh really hard driving home one night because I thought of John Wayne William H. Macy Gacy.
Yeah, that one's probably my fave.
And then I thought of John Wayne Kevin Spacey Gacy. Wah, wah, wah.
Problematic.
Both
How about
of
John
them.
Wayne Tracy Morgan Gacy? Is that a good one?
Yeah, because your name's in there.
Hey.
Threw in a little Morgan. I have John Wayne Detective Dick Tracy Gacy.
That's a good one.
And I also have John Wayne Macy's Department Store Gacy.
Oh my god, I went into Macy's today.
I was sitting across from a Macy's when
you thought of it.
Yeah.
I also have John Wayne Tracy Turnblad.
Sure.
I don't know.
Sure, dude. Go for it, man. You're just, like, shooting the shit. That was like that one time I came to pick you up, and I'm like, I'm outside of John Wayne Macy's.
Oh, yeah.
That was...
So I work at a mall, you guys.
Morgan works at literally...
A mall.
You don't have to say a mall. If you say the Water Tower Place, that's like...
Not everyone in the world knows where I live. And by live, I mean work, but I work so much that I basically live there.
I live there. I'm like Eloise, and I live in the hotel. The Ritz-Carlton is there.
It is.
I saw...
There are people who live at the Water Tower. There's apartments at the very top.
I bet they're super expensive.
I've never been to Chicago. The Water Tower Mall is, like, big and on Michigan Avenue. And, like,
speaking of Chicago, John Wayne Gacy was a full-on Chicago boy.
I bet you he went to
he went to the mall. He was like, let's go to the mall.
Back when it was...
Today.
It was,
when it was Marshall Fields.
Marshall Fields. Throw all the way back. Throw up.
Throw all the way back and throw up. So let's take ourselves back in time to yesteryear. The year is 1942. FDR is serving his third term as president. The number one song in the country is Midnight Cocktail by Glenn Miller, and people won't shut the fuck up about Citizen Kane. On March 17th, St. Patrick's Day, 1942, at Edgewater Hospital in Chicago, Illinois, John Wayne Gacy was born at approximately 8:30 a.m.
Wow. So where do we start with John Wayne Gacy?
Literally Edgewater Hospital because it's down the street.
Down the street from us right now?
It's on the corner of Ashland and Hollywood, and I went there, and so...
I just got sushi over there the other day.
Yeah, you have 100% driven by this hospital.
Yeah.
I mean, it's abandoned now. It was a hospital, obviously.
Thanks.
So it was a hospital, and it's abandoned now, and it got, it got shut down because of illegal practices because the doctors were performing illegal amputees on homeless people as a means to get them off of drugs. They're like, hey,
oh, like you can't do heroin if you don't have any arms?
Yeah, you don't have if you don't have arms, you can't do heroin or shoot it in between your teeth in your toes. Yeah, it was a very poorly planned out idea because obviously you could. I mean, like, I don't condone doing heroin.
That's fucked up.
But you can snort it. You could boof it. You could have a friendship.
You can figure it out, yeah.
You would figure it out. So yeah, so I went there and took pictures, obviously. It's actually very scary and I would never go there at nighttime. Because people have been in, you can look it up. It's called something else now. Well, it's not a thing anymore, but like, you know, it, like, you can find it. And it's really scary, the building.
Oh, okay.
Because there's like broken windows open, there's fucking graffiti everywhere, and they're tearing down some of the back of it, and I went back there and I got a horrible allergic reaction.
Oh.
Because of all of the dust and all the debris and everything, and I was like, the like memories of John Wayne Gacy are making me sick.
Oh my god,
right
John
now.
Wayne Gacy's body parts were in your nose. That's secretly where he wanted his ashes to be spread, and you breathed John Wayne Gacy in.
Yeah, it's like they're like, this is really weird, but in his will, he says he wants someone named Holly Freeberg to snort him. I mean, he was a piece of shit. Do we honor this? I don't know. I don't know.
What year did he die? I know we'll get there later, but what year did he die?
I don't have that information right in front of me right now, nor do I know it off the top of me head.
We'll tell y'all later.
I mean, I could click out of a bunch of things and open a bunch of things, but like...
Let's just keep going
with... we're...
When he was born.
We're back in the 40s, like...
Yeah, all that Dust Bowl shit.
Not the Dust Bowl. The Dust Bowl was like... I don't know. When did The Grapes of Wrath come out? Because that book literally made my mouth so dry. Mm-hmm. Thinking of the Dust Bowl makes me so thirsty. I'm so glad I didn't grow up in the Dust Bowl.
Okay, let's talk about John Wayne Gacy.
Also, I'm really glad I didn't grow up in the Gacy house. So, John was born to John Stanley Gacy. So, okay.
Oh, Dust Bowl was 30s, sorry.
So, yeah, you were off by a touch. So, like I said, John was born to John Stanley Gacy. So, technically, he's not really a junior. But other things I have read have said that his name was John Wayne Gacy Sr. And also, I'm going to mention him a little later, but one of his childhood friends also called him John Wayne Gacy Sr. So I'm not exactly sure what his name was. Okay. So during this, I'm going to call him John Sr. And then I'll just call John... I call John Johnny sometimes just because that's how his friend refers to him. Okay. So
you got your information from one of his friend's books, correct?
Yes. Oh, right. Thank you very much. So at the very, very top, I'm going to name all of my sources because I always say I'm going to, and then I always forget.
Yeah, let's do it.
So let's do it. So I got an amazing book. It's called My Life Among the Serial Killers, and it is inside the minds of the world's most notorious murders. It's written by Helen Morrison and also Harold Goldberg. Helen Morrison, huge in psychiatry. She literally has John Wayne Gacy's brain in her basement.
As we've said on previous episodes, she was on an episode of like Courtney and Chloe Take Miami or something, and Chloe goes and looks at his brain.
So she has to be I feel like we could get, if she would let the Kardashians come over, like she should let us come over.
Totally.
I don't know. But anywho's yeah. So she's really big in her field, and in the book it's not just John Wayne Gacy. Like, she talked to so many serial killers, but I'll get into more of her shit later because she talked to him obviously after everything had happened. So one of my other sources, it's a weird, I don't know exactly where it's from, but it's called Marshall Cavendish weekly publication, and it's called Murder Casebook, Investigations into the Ultimate Crime, and there's a bunch of them. Like, literally anyone you could possibly think of who's killed someone, like, they have one of these for them. And so I have John's, which is called Orgy of Killings, which was really fun to open on the elevator full of people when I got it in the mail. But yeah, I highly suggest going on fucking eBay, because you can find some very cool shit. Because
super cool true crime shit.
Yeah, because another one of my sources is from the Chicago Tribune article.
The original article.
The original article.
Holly has a copy of.
Mm-hmm. that came out Thursday, March 13th, 1980. Oh, Morgan, I just answered your question because he was put to death on March 12th.
Of 1980?
I believe so.
Oh, he's been dead for a while.
Yeah. It's bonkers. Yeah, no, and I read this. I didn't read this offline, y'all. I bought the actual article off of the internets. You can buy newspapers on the internet.
Y'all know that?
Y'all know that? They say, I mean, it's from the 80s, and when you take it out, you can really smell that, like, nasty...
Oh, can I?
Yeah, but just, like, be careful. Your hands have destructive oils. You touch it while I name my other sources. So
okay.
I also have the penultimate, like, if you are a true crime person, you need to have the A to Z Encyclopedia of Serial Killers by Harold Schechter and David Everett. It smells like everything. It smells like the 80s. It's written by Harold Schechter and David Everett, like I said, and it kind of goes along with the book I also used, Human Monsters, an Illustrated Encyclopedia of the World's Most Vicious Murderers, and that is by David Everett. So,
and then also the Killer Clown book, which is the one you lent to me, because you gave me a copy.
I gave you your own copy.
Yeah, which is by Terry Sullivan.
Yes.
With Peter T. Macon.
Yes, so Terry Sullivan was the prosecutor for the case.
Yeah.
There's actually nothing in that book about John Wayne Gacy's childhood.
Yeah.
That is all about the case.
Realized that.
Yeah. Looking through it, didn't see
the one book Holly gives me.
I know, I had nothing about the childhood. I apologize.
It's cool. I have all the other later stuff.
I mean, I think it's cool because we have the book, because Helen was on the defense. But like I said, we will get all into that later. What else do I have? So I also have The Man Who Killed Boys, which is also a bad book to have on your desk at work. It is written by Clifford L. Lindecker. Oh, by the way, he was executed on March 10th. I'm sorry, not the 12th.
Whoops.
My bad. Another one of my sources is...
this is Source Corner.
We're in Source Corner.
No tea, no shade.
Which is something only people who watch what show will get?
No, it's something a lot of people will get, Holly.
I don't. I'm old. I like to...
It has nothing to do with your age.
I like to talk about family matters. Y'all got any cheese?
Shut up.
So I also got some information from The World's Mysteries Explored Fate magazine. It's a psychic reading of John Wayne Gacy, but I'll save that for later. I'm just mentioning it at the top. Let's see. Oh, and then we also have The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, which I just read as a reference point because he is often
referred to in that sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
I mean, that's how a lot, same with Ted Bundy. He would snap.
Yeah.
That's what happens with a lot of people who are murderers. It's weird,
It's like
right?
weird. And we're about to find out
why
he was...
Dun dun dun!
John Wayne Gacy. In a world where John Wayne Gacy was born to John Stanley Gacy, or maybe John Wayne Gacy Sr., we're not exactly sure. But anyhoozle, so... anyhoozle, so John Sr. is what I'm going to call him. We already went over this. Okay, so John was of Polish descent, and it was a mechanic.
He's from fucking Chicago.
Exactly.
I think everyone here is Polish. I mean, except us.
Except for Marianne, who was a stay-at-home mom and was Danish.
Cute.
And John Wayne Gacy kind of looks like a Danish. Like his hands look like two giant bear claw pastries.
Yeah, for shizzle.
He's got those,
He has really pink cheeks.
Yeah,
everyone in Chicago has rosacea, pretty much, because they're all like Irish or Polish or something.
Or it's like very cold outside.
That's
in all of these, by the way, they all are like,
or they're all sunburnt.
Yeah, no, yeah.
As of right now.
But all of these books were always like, it's cold in Chicago in the winter, bitch. And it's like, yeah.
We know.
Yeah. It's like bad. So John had an older sister named Joanne and a younger sister named Karen. We don't really know a whole lot about John's early childhood, except for some things I'm going to talk about later. But we know that he was abused by his alcoholic father, who also abused his mother and his sisters. Sometimes Marion was able to diffuse the situation to protect the children from abuse, but she was usually only successful with the daughters, and the need for John Sr. to beat up John.
Yeah.
Johnny was too big, too great.
Right.
So we don't really know when John began being abused, but it had to be fairly young because he would, John Sr. would try to play different sports with John, but he wasn't interested, and it made his dad mad because it was, the 40s, and, they
Right.
wanted
So
that
he wasn't
all-American
into sports
family
stuff.
No, he wanted to do
It's really
other
sad
stuff.
when, like, people are like that.
It's really
It's like, let your kid do whatever the fuck they want.
Oh, you're gonna fucking hate.
I mean, not whatever the fuck they want, but let them pick their own hobbies and shit.
After this episode, or after this series, you're gonna hate 2 John Wayne Gacys.
Probably.
There are 2 John Wayne Gacy. There are 2 men named John Wayne Gacy who are monsters.
They both suck.
And they both suck. Because, the younger you are when abuse begins, the more long-term effect it has on you emotionally and physically.
And your brain.
Yeah. But we'll get into the psychology in later episode. This is just kind of laying the groundwork.
Okay.
So John was born with what is called a bottleneck heart, which it was hard getting information about
What a bottleneck heart is?
Yeah, I think it's I assume it's when your heart shaped like a bottle.
Huh.
I didn't really understand, but so he had heart problems, and his dad would call him a sissy and a mama's boy and thought John was faking his symptoms to get attention, but little did John Sr. know that his abuse was only making John's heart worse. Because according...
Sorry.
Gesundheit, mein Un. I don't know what I said. What does Un mean in German? Nothing.
I don't think anything.
So, according to a recent study, children who are abused are more likely to develop a multitude of physical illnesses along with mental illnesses.
That's really sad.
It is so sad. It's like it just keeps getting worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's almost like
Because when you're stressed out, your body can't, like, do what it really needs to.
Well, and when you're stressed out, your immune system is like,
yeah, it's all over the place.
Yeah. So one of these illnesses include having poor cardiovascular systems. So I believe beyond a shadow of a doubt that John's heart problems were as bad, like only continued to get worse. I mean, he was born with a bottle heart. Well, but like I think his physical ailments, his father's abuse did not help at all.
Right.
So I was unable to locate sources for this information other than this murder casebook investigation thing. And then I also found... I said that it was called Orgy of Killings, right? I just wanted to mention that again. So when I read this information I'm about to tell you, I was like, wait, what? And so I had to immediately, because I'd never read this before anywhere, and the only other place I was able to find any information was a source. It was written by some psychology students at Radford University in Virginia. Cool. And I read that in 1944, when John was 2, he watched his dad hit his mom so hard that it knocked the bridge.
I've heard of this.
Oh, you've heard of this? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it knocked the bridge out of her mouth, and they moved live with her in-laws for a while. And then the family returned to Chicago in 1945. In 1946, when John was 4, he was caught playing house with a 15-year-old mentally challenged girl and was blamed.
At 4?
Yeah. According to one source, the girl pulled John's pants down and started fondling him, and then he got the blame for it.
Ooh, that's too young.
That's 4 years old.
That's too
You don't
young.
know what that means.
That also can mess
And she
with you.
doesn't know what it means.
Right.
So it was shitty for both of them.
And she looked like not an adult, but to him, she probably kind of did.
Yeah, because when you're 4...
Compared 4 to 15, 15-year-olds seem like they're 25.
Exactly. And honestly, in the 40s, they say she was mentally challenged. She was probably gay.
Or like, I don't know, kind of into like spells.
She wore black.
Right.
So like, honestly, who knows? So she's obviously a victim in this too. At
15, it's not okay. It's weird to want to touch a 4-year-old.
No. Well, when you're 15, and if you are mentally challenged, you do not have the mental capacity to know the difference between right or wrong. So she did not. But now hearing that you have heard this, so I think it might be a little more accurate.
Well, I heard he watched his dad hit his mom so hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't heard about this.
The other thing?
The other thing, no.
Yeah. In 1947, John was 5 and he started going to Catholic school. In 1948, I really hope this isn't true, John's dad kills his dog just because he's mad at him.
But you don't know if this is
I hope that's not true. It's what's in the psychological, like, dissertation or whatever. Okay. Also, he, like, stole a toy truck and his dad beat him with a razor strap. And
a razor strap?
You know what, okay, so they're for barbers, and they're like those long straps, and it's leather, and they use it to polish razors, and they like go like that.
I think Google I know it, what you're talking about.
You'll know what I'm talking about. It's not something you want to be hit with.
Nah.
In 1941, according to the sources that I read, John was sexually abused by a construction worker who was friends with his dad.
Ew, how old was he?
In 1951, he would have been 9.
Aww.
Yeah. So if that's true, that's fucked up, and it makes a lot of sense. And it would also make sense that John would never talk about it.
Yeah.
That, like,
because he was probably a little.
Oh, and he was because
a little bit into it.
Well, yes, because it is everyone knows. I mean, John was bi. Everything is homosexual, but I think he was bi. I don't know.
I mean, he was married to women and had children, so he had to be at least somewhat into it.
Yeah. I mean, we'll get into that later.
I mean, I guess not, but probably, right?
We'll get into it. Maybe a little bit. I don't know. I mean, he had girlfriends and stuff, and, like, I think he was able to love them, or I don't know. I digress. So, John Sr. saw his wife and daughters as property, but John was his legacy. He was his namesake.
Yeah.
And John was constantly disappointing him. And John Sr. always called him dumb and stupid. That is the theme of John Sr. Dumb and stupid. Which is actually a very dumb and stupid thing to say because they are homonyms.
Yeah.
They are the same word. And he would call him, like, you stupid moron. It's very sad.
You stupid.
You stupid fuck. So growing up, John always lived in the northwest suburbs, or northwest neighborhoods rather, of Chicago. But in the early 50s, the Gacys moved to 4505 North Memora Avenue in the Jefferson Park neighborhood, and that's where he met his childhood best friend, Barry Bushelli. I would just like to say right now that Barry Bushelli is the sweetest man in the entire world. Oh, I forgot to mention, because I was going to talk about it here. So another one of my sources was his book, which is called Johnny and Me. It's called Johnny and Me, The True Story of John Wayne Gacy. And it helps fill in a lot of the puzzle pieces that we were missing from John Wayne Gacy's story. Right. And
this is also just that person's point of view, so.
Well, but, I mean, true.
It is.
And he was a kid. Well, but, I mean... But he had these experiences with him. I mean, you'll kind of get it as I see it. So they're not things that you can just, like, you know.
Right.
But anyway, so Barry, like, had all of these issues. Like, he felt regret. Like, he was so sad. Like, because he lost a friend.
Yeah, best friend.
He lost his best friend. And, like, sometimes you lose best friends because you move away, and sometimes you lose best friends because they become serial killers, and you don't want to be best friends with them.
And they're in prison.
Or and when they're assholes, like, you don't want to be friends with them anymore. And he's just, I'll get into it more. So, Barry and John bonded very quickly. Barry was also abused by his father.
Right.
And when they first met, he could see in John's eyes that he was hurting from the same kind of abuse. And they understood completely what the other one was going through. And they also had the common characteristic of being very close to their mothers. I would highly recommend a book. It's like reading a book your grandpa wrote if your grandpa had been childhood best friends with John Wayne Gacy.
Right.
It's just very cute. Kind of like the way he writes is cute. He's talking... Well, but it is cute. I mean... The two main tenets in his book that he tries to establish is that he is not trying to glorify John in any way. Right. He just wants to get his story out. And he also saw that writing this book would be like a burden off of his shoulders because he's finally getting all this information. He's like, I know what very little people know.
Yeah, he's like, the only true. And he knows that there's people like us and like people out there who would be super interested.
Yeah. And because...
And we thank you.
We thank you so much, Barry. Oh my God.
We love you, Barry.
I can't say nicer things about Barry. So, there's also this TV show that's called Serial Killer Culture TV, and the episode 2 is called My Friend Gacy, and so that has Barry in it. So I read the book first, and so then I watched the episode because I'm like, I want to see what Barry looked like.
How would Barry look?
Barry rocks a bolo tie. Barry rocks a bolo tie better than I've ever seen anyone rock a bolo tie in my life.
Yes, Barry.
Barry made me cry so hard.
Aw.
And Barry himself is also a very emotional man, and it's so beautiful. He's just such a beautiful human being. So let's get back. Barry said that when he first met John, they shook hands, and Barry said that he got a little shock. Like, you know, when you kind of shock, like,
Yeah,
you get a little
static electricity. It's dry in Chicago in the winter.
I know, but he said he felt kind of weird, and he said he had a little voice in his head that was like, this is an unusual kid.
Sure.
Well, but I mean, he said he just had a gut. I mean, that's just little kid stuff. But he's like, I had this gut feeling this was an unusual kid, and he was not wrong.
No, he wasn't wrong at all.
He wasn't wrong. So I don't know why you're arguing.
Well, I'm just saying he's saying that now, but who knows if he actually thought that when he was a kid.
I mean,
hey.
So we had to take a quick break because if you couldn't hear that, that was Tuesday's tail hitting a Tupperware container.
Full of books.
Full of paint, old medicine bottles, and other shit. So, like I said, Barry thought he was unusual. He would ask Johnny what he wanted to be when he grew up, and without hesitation, Johnny would say, I want to be the governor of Illinois. Which is crazy because he would have fit right in.
Yeah, because our governor also went to prison.
Yeah, Blagoy got hella impeached. By Blago.
I don't even really know how to say his last name, honestly.
Blagojevich? Blagojevich.
It's hard for some people.
It's okay. Another time, Barry recalls bringing him into his room, and John took out a box from his closet. I had heard about this before, that John liked ladies' clothing.
Oh.
And a lot of little kids do. Like, they just
They're
like that
pretty
silky,
and they're fun.
that silky
Yeah.
feeling. Like, especially when you're little, and it's like, you like it because it's the way your mom smells. But this is sort of a different...
That makes it more weird, I think.
Well, no, because it smells like your mom. Whatever. I love my mom. Is that not weird? I'm my mom. But anywhoozle, I mean, John was like 11, 10-ish at this age, and he brought out a box that was filled with women's clothes and lingerie, and Barry was like, why do you have that? And John answered, how do you think I would look like dressed up like a girl? And Barry just told him to put the box away, because it was the 50s, and no one talked about cross-dressing, because people were too uptight, like, Jesus, get over it.
Right.
Put on some heels and lip gloss, and go be you. They both attended Priessing Elementary School together, which is like right down the street from their houses. I've also been to where John grew up. He lives like his house, his childhood home is on the corner. It's a really, really nice little house. It's a very, very nice little neighborhood.
Cool.
And the school is nice. It's a lot of, I think it's just construction season, because the building, the school was being built, like renovated for the summer. Barry said that John definitely got sick from time to time from his heart, but he could tell that sometimes he would be using it to his advantage if they were like going to do something and John did not want to do it. Yeah.
Some people do that.
Some people do that. Barry talks about a conversation he had with John where he was telling him about helping his mother with laundry, and John told him that his dad said that he wasn't allowed to do laundry or gardening or anything like that because it was all considered women's work.
How is gardening women's work?
Yeah, you know,
it's hard to pull weeds.
You know what I think of when I hear that someone's a gardener? I think of a man. Like, gardeners are like men.
Yeah.
I mean, like John.
I mean, sometimes they're women. Everyone can garden.
Yeah, everybody can garden.
I have a dill plant growing in my window.
That's not how I thought that was going to say. I thought you were going to say, I have a dildo. And I was going to be like, weird time to bring it up, but hell yeah. Same. So, John had a bajillion chores, though. Barry said that he would sometimes sit in Gacy's living room for hours waiting for John to finish up with his chores. Barry said that John Sr. hated his son. Hated John. So he wanted to make him as miserable as he could, so John would have to get down on his hands and knees and clean the kitchen floor, which was made of linoleum, with a teeny tiny little brush, and if he missed even a spot, he would get beat, and then he was forced to start all over again.
Wow.
He was a fucking monster. He
How
would, like,
can you
bang
get
it.
pleasure? Like, that's so disgusting.
Yeah, I cried so much while reading. Like, how can you fucking do that to your kid?
Yeah, I don't get it.
Barry recalls thinking the Gacy kids were really shy, but as he grew up, he realized that they were just afraid to do or say anything because they were so used to being punished at home. Like, it was so bad, John's mom told Barry to be careful of her husband. The first time Barry went to the Gacy's house for lunch, he accidentally spilled a glass of milk on his lap, on Mr. Gacy's lap, and he immediately started flipping out on John, blaming him for it.
John, oh my god.
Yeah, like...
Is it your fucking friend?
Yeah, and Barry was like, it was me. Hello?
Right.
And then Gacy excused himself from the table, and as soon as he left, Marion told the boys to run back to Barry's house. So that they would not be there when he came back. Which is fucking terrifying. This happened a lot.
Mom.
I know. Marion, like, she fucking tried her hardest, dude. She was a fucking trooper.
Yeah.
She did the fucking best she could. I mean, it would get so bad that Mr. Gacy would become so enraged, she would tell the girls to go up to their room and lock the door and just would tell John to run to Barry's house.
Oh, well, that's nice that he had a safe haven.
I know.
That's important.
And, like, I mean, Barry was a year older than John, and Barry said he didn't really realize it until they were older, but, like, he was, like, kind of an older brother. I mean, if you look at pictures, if you look at the book, he was a good, I don't know, maybe 10 feet taller than John.
Aww.
He was so tall. So they had to be, like, that would be cute. Like a little short kid and like a big tall kid. That's
okay,
funny.
let's stop romanticizing John Wayne Gacy's childhood.
I'm not. I'm romanticizing little boys who are friends with tall boys. Okay.
Some people go through developmental things later.
Yeah. So John Sr. spent the majority of his time getting wasted in the basement, locking the door behind him, and only emerging to eat and terrorize his family. And shit, presuming there wasn't a bathroom in the basement.
Who knows? Maybe there was.
Maybe there was.
Hopefully there was, because then you'd see him less.
Yeah. Also, this is gonna probably fuck you up, because I know you would hate this. John could only get to his bedroom by going through his parents' room.
Ew! That's the grossest situation ever.
What if you... Like,
I feel bad for you that you had to share a wall with mom and dad when we were growing up. Like, ew.
Oh my god, I would be on the fucking, what were they called? Oh, the cordless phone with a boy. I cannot tell you how many times I heard pounding on the wall because I was being too fucking loud. You're so lucky you weren't.
I know, I never had that ever.
Oh my god, no. Ugh, I hated living. I hated, because our mom, I think we've talked about this on the podcast before, our mom would have crazy spider dreams.
Yeah.
So I always heard those crazy spider dreams the best, other than poor ass
She
dad.
was screaming.
Poor dad.
Ugh.
Our poor little dad. I love our dad so much.
He's not as unfortunate as Mrs. Gacy.
No. So let's see. Yeah. But for John, it really sucked because he'd have to go by his dad, and he was drunk. Who knows what would happen? You know what I mean?
It really sucks.
His abuse was so bad that one time while John was walking home from school, John saw some flowers on a grave, and John was young at this point.
Okay.
Young enough that he didn't realize what he was doing was wrong. He saw the flowers, and he took them and was like, I want to give these to my mom.
Aww.
He didn't realize it was bad, but cops saw him do it and followed him home. I've been around that area. There's a cemetery pretty close, and the cops told Mr. Gacy, and Mr. Gacy was like, don't worry, I'll take care of it.
Ugh.
And he took John to the basement and beat him with a 2x4 so badly that he almost died.
Oh my fucking god.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah. Despite all of this abuse, though, John adoringly loved his father.
What?
All he wanted to do was please him and make him proud of him, and he never could. All he wanted to do was please his dad. So, now we get to the swing incident. Before now...
Dun dun!
Dun dun. Before now, I had only known that John was hit in the head
I have
with a
tears
swing.
in my eyes.
That's the
really
part that
up.
made me cry. That is so, how could you do that to your kid? How could you do that to anybody? But,
or just a child in general, but especially your own kid, Holly.
I know. I'm not gonna cry, Morgan. I know. I just got that look on my
I'm
face,
the
like
mean
I was
person
about to.
who like calls people out to not cry when they have to cry because it makes me uncomfortable.
And I'm that person that cries at like Men's Warehouse commercials.
You do.
Yeah.
You seriously cry at everything.
I cry at everything.
I can't tell you guys how often I look over at Holly and she is like tears dripping down her entire face.
But it's like,
and it's
funny.
literally a commercial for like Hellman's mayonnaise.
Oh my god. But I laugh. It was like when Morgan graduated from college, she made a very, very sad to me, what I thought, movie about an old couple. It was very like Notebook, and Morgan
We're going to talk about how at my graduation I couldn't stop crying.
Yeah, no, Morgan cries sometimes.
Help it.
Yeah, Morgan,
Oh my
I
God.
cry just like at the drop of a hat.
When I cry, it's long and it's hard.
And it's real.
And it's real.
The time before that you had cried the hardest was when, spoiler alert, Dumbledore died.
Yeah, that was really, really hard.
That was
for me.
really fucking hard on you.
It still is. Anyways.
Oh, R.I.P. Dumbledore. R.I.P.
Speaking of Harry Potter, I don't know if any of you care, but I'm still playing the game, and I'm year 4, and this app really needs to fucking step its pussy up because I keep having to wait for them to create more game, because that's how fucking good I am.
Do we have our theme music for Harry Potter game? For our Harry Potter app corner of the show?
I don't know, we'll create something.
That's
That's not good.
Okay, so anywho, so cool. You're year 4. We're very proud of you.
Thank you.
They need to probably make
I'm
some
doing
updates.
really well,
It's
guys.
whatever. It's whatever.
Well, I
So-
also got asked to be in like a private club for the app.
Oh my god, Morgan.
And so now they send me like updates and like they ask my opinion on things, which is kind of cool.
There's some people who are probably like foaming at the mouth right now because they're probably like, oh my god, I'm being cool. Because that's how I always am with podcasts and with little like things like that. So I'm sure you're good. You're good.
Yeah, just because you're not into it doesn't mean other people aren't
Exactly.
into it, Holly.
And exactly.
But I'm sure they would rather be hearing about John Wayne Gacy. By the way, you guys, we both have been diagnosed with ADHD, so if you don't like the fact that we get off on tangents so frequently, it's ridiculous. Sorry.
I'm sorry, but
I hate Adderall.
I'm sorry, but at least they're funny. I take Adderall. I don't think it helps.
I don't think it helps either. I hate it. I don't take it. It sucks.
Anyways, so speaking of Adderall, so John and his friends went to a park. I've been to the park. It is actually a forest preserve now. It's very beautiful. The swing set has obviously since
Been removed.
been removed.
Swing sets don't last very long.
Well, when you hear
Has anyone
about
ever seen a swing set go down? Because I have, and it was intense.
well, yeah, I mean, like literally, they had to take down that one
When someone
slide.
was swinging on it. Oh yeah, well that's different. That didn't fall down. I fell off of that slide.
Right. Okay.
I saw a swing set fall down on someone.
Oh God, are they okay?
Yeah, she's
Are they
fine.
a serial killer now?
She's fine, and we don't like her, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, okay. So, anywhoozle. So, Barry and John and a bunch of friends, they took a bunch of, like they were going to have a picnic at this park. I went to it. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, you said it's a forest preserve
Absolutely gorgeous.
now. Let's
There's-
go have a picnic there Tuesday.
We fucking should, Morgan. I have pictures that I'll post. It was beautiful.
Cute.
But it was also, I found a really weird thing. Like, I found a really weird candle. I'll have to show you a picture of it. But, because the Chicago...
Weird candle.
I found a weird candle. No, but I went down by the water and I found a really weird candle. But I took some, like, little seashells I found from there and some... I mean, it was very nice. There was also...
Wait, Tuesday?
No, I literally did all of this on my lunch break. On
Today?
Two separate
okay.
Monday and Tuesday.
Cute.
Or last week, I don't remember fully. But yeah, I mean, I wanted to see these places.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like we were saying in episodes previous when Holly said, like, these episodes are kind of not close to our heart, but close to where we are, so
I mean, John Wayne Gacy...
we can go to all these places where all this shit happened.
Yeah, and like I look it up and I'm like, I'm 2 miles away from this. Why wouldn't I go look? Like when I was at his childhood home, I did want to be respectful of the people who live there now.
But like, go to the L&L Tavern. He used to drink there.
Oh, definitely.
It's kind of gross there. I went on a date one time and watched Wipeout.
You and I are definitely going to go there.
It's like cool.
Yeah, we'll go there. I mean, to take pictures, obviously.
The leather seats have cracked, so they're uncomfortable if you're wearing shorts.
I bet John Wayne Gacy did it.
The bathrooms are gross.
The bathrooms. Okay, Morgan, this is turning into a Yelp review, and this is a podcast about
the
John
L&L
Wayne
Tavern.
Goddamn Gacy. So, let's get back to this swing. Barry said that they wanted to go on the big kid swings, and yeah, so one of I'm a big kid, I'm gonna go on the big kid swings. But like I said that I couldn't find the park, but there's also a pool there, but I don't believe it is the same pool because I doubt they had twirly whirly slides.
Nah.
Or like those weird like water spout things.
Well, they also have probably just added on to it. It
Yeah.
might still be the same like area where the other pool was.
I'm sure it was. And I doubt back
John
in
Little's fat buddy probably has swam in that pool.
his little just like, what did I call him earlier? A little butterball?
Yeah, he was a little like He was like who's the kid who shakes his titties in
he was a why can't I think of his goddamn name?
I can't even think of the movies. Goonies.
Yeah, because the story, I mean,
Truffle Shuffle.
Yeah, Goonies. Oh, but we can't think, Chunk.
Chunk. He's such a chunk. Or like,
he was thin, though. He was thinner than Chunk. He wasn't as pudgy. I've seen a lot of pictures of him. I will show you them.
Whatever. So, when I think of John Wayne Gacy, I think of him as a 50-year-old chunky baby.
True. I just picture him with big old fucking sausage fingers. Those big old Polish sausage fingers. Anyway.
Yeah, Polish guys have big hands.
Anyway. Okay, Morgan. Let's not get into that on the podcast. We'll talk about it later. So, keep in mind, this was the 50s. It was not one of those little rinky-dink yellow, like, play school plastic swings. This was made out of heavy wood. There was a steel strip around the seat with huge steel studs. So this swing won't fucking around.
This swing sounds scary.
This swing was built to withstand war.
Who else was just like... Swinging was like my hobby when I was a kid.
No, yeah, you go to any park.
I would go
days,
to parks, or like we had a swing set in our backyard, and I would just make up songs while swinging, and it was my favorite shit, man.
It's good. It's good to do.
Make yourself feel like you're flying.
Yeah. So when they were on these swings, one of the kids was standing on the swing, and when he jumped off, the swing kind of like freaked out, and like John tried pushing it away, but it hit him square in the head,
hard in the frontal area of his brain.
Ish. Kind of, so like, he got hit in the frontal leftish side of his head. Based, in my opinion, based on what I've read later. As you imagine, all of the kids started panicking.
Ooh, I bet you there was a lot of blood. I've been there for,
when people hit themselves.
Ooh, just like, when everyone gets hurt at school and you're like, oh God, look at that big old cut. Look at that, like when you see someone's bone.
Exactly.
Shit went down at Central School, man. What up?
Represent Central School. Hey. Central was like the cool grade school.
It got condemned.
It got full of water. It was right by the river. It was put in a poor place. So, back to John Wayne Gacy. So, like I said, kids were freaking out. They thought he was dead because he got completely knocked out when he got hit.
He must have got hit real hard.
Oh, he got hit real hard, girl. So they put his
I've never seen someone get hit in the face with a swing.
No. Well, plus I've never seen a swing that would be capable of,
the damage that this
damage. Yeah, I've never seen an industrial swing.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure with the proper velocity, a tire swing could fuck you up pretty badly. But I mean,
oh yeah.
But just like a park swing, you don't really consider those, which is probably why they're made of plastic now. But anywhoozle, Barry picked him up, put him in his little red wagon, and they went to the local grocery store, and they called Gacy's house so that they could come and get John, because they were kind of far away. And Mr. Gacy said, it's okay, just bring him home. So Barry had to pull his friend for 14 blocks the whole time, crying.
They didn't go to the hospital?
Well, no, because Mr. Gacy was like, bring him home.
He thought he was dead, and he just said, bring him home?
Well, no, Barry thought he was dead.
Oh, shit.
Because he was little, so he was, like, pulling him home for 14 blocks, crying, and thinking he was dead. And so when they finally got to the house, Marion was able to stir John, but he had to be in bed for about a week and wasn't allowed any visitors. And they never took him to the hospital.
Wow.
Yeah. And so...
Not that the hospital at that time would have been that great, but...
No, but, like, you'd think he'd maybe... Yeah, there wasn't immediate care back then, but, I mean, you know. Take your kid to the hospital after they suffer something where they get, you know, a concussion. So Tuesday's doing that weird Tupperware thing, so again, we'll be right back. Fucking little douchebag. So we are back. I realized a little anecdote when I went to John Wayne Gacy's childhood home. Like I said before, I wanted to be respectful of the current owners.
Yeah.
But the house was having some sort of construction done on it, and some yard maintenance, I don't fucking know, but there was a guy there, and I overheard him talk to the owner, and he's like, is this where that Gacy guy used to live?
Oh, wow.
And the guy who lived there was like, oh, Pogo, yeah. And I was like, wow. It's like, oh boy.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so that was pretty crazy. So back to... Now we are at the...
John has been hit in the head.
John has been hit in the head.
And he's recovering.
So now he's finally able to see Barry.
Okay.
When he finally goes to see John, his speech is messed up. And he, knew what he wanted to say, but sentences just came out all wrong.
Yeah.
And he'd get really mad. We'll talk more about John's brain later, which has kind of a weird thing to say. But it was extensively studied by Helen Morrison, especially after his execution. But one of the things they looked for was the trauma that would have resulted from the swing accident, like tissue scarring. But, it definitely had to do something to him. I mean, he had a little bit of expressive aphasia, which is when you literally can't... you know what you need to say, but your
it's just hard
mouth,
to get the words out,
those, because he got hit on that side of his head, and it fucked up, the speech and language part.
And all of us sometimes have that.
Exactly.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah, so you were right. I mean, it's very close. They have, special science names, and I don't want to be boring, but these parts are, in the front and left, and they are connected to each other, so...
Well, the front of your brain is pretty much your personality.
Yeah, plus, there's your inner... I mean, they did look in his inner brain. I don't know. I believe them, but, you don't, get hit in the head and have blackouts for the rest of your life and have...
no brain trauma.
And say that there's no brain trauma. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a doctor. I ain't no doctor.
But that's especially... And not only that, but he got beat by his dad a bunch. You think he didn't hit him in the head a couple times too hard?
I mean,
he hit him so hard he almost died.
Exactly. He
had to have brain trauma.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. So, another thing you read when you're, trying to find whatever sparse material there is on John's childhood, they always talk about how, he was a upstanding, citizen, and when he was a kid, he was a Boy Scout.
Yeah.
But John and Barry joined the Boy Scouts, and John immediately hated it because of all of the rules. One time...
Sounds like me.
One time they went on all the boys went on a camping trip, and John got into an altercation with another boy, and it got physical, and John fell over, which is kind of a theme with fights with John. John tends to fall over a lot, almost like he's been hit in the head a bunch.
Yikes.
So John fell over, and he immediately just randomly ran into the forest. And they found him on the side of the road, and he was dehydrated, and his heart was acting up.
Oh, I mean,
yeah, it's
weird.
Just,
it's weird because you feel for him as a little kid, but he just grows up to be such a monster.
I
know, it's crazy.
It sucks.
It's a weird how do you feel? How do we navigate these feelings of sorrow, but also
you can feel
disgust.
Exactly. You can feel bad for the things that happen to them, but ultimately people are responsible for the things they do. I mean, his sisters were... I mean, it doesn't seem like they were, beaten as much or abused, especially emotionally, as much as John was. So, I mean, it's just hard to say. There are people who go through this. I mean, Barry went through the exact same thing.
Yeah,
that's the whole thing, that Barry wanted Like, the main...
Barry's dad must have not been that bad, though, if they used to run over there to be safe.
Well, I think Barry's dad worked a lot more.
Oh, okay.
So I think he was home a lot less.
Makes sense.
Yeah, because Barry's dad did pretty well for himself.
Okay.
And we'll talk a little bit more about some of Barry's dad's... Barry's dad was a piece of shit.
Okay.
Like, Barry hated his dad.
Yeah. Which means we hate Barry's dad.
Which means we all hate Barry's dad. Barry said that after this, John was just a completely different person.
Yeah.
So he got kicked out of the Scouts because he was too aggressive. He was making too many fights with people, and Barry quit because the only reason he wanted to be in it was to be with his friend. And so he didn't want to be in it if John wasn't in it anymore. And so this one time, Barry was hanging out with one of his other friends, Leroy. And John knew Leroy, and when they walked by Johnny's house, he came outside and started yelling at Leroy and started calling all these names, and Barry was like, what the fuck? And
he was
like,
jealous.
Yeah, because he was mad that he was hanging out with, he's like, that's my Barry.
It's like, you have other friends?
Yeah, and so John...
Why am I John Wayne Gacy?
Have you done this?
No, but I am territorial with my friends.
I get it. Well, I mean, a lot of people are like that, but I mean, John was like being out.
Yeah,
very,
no, I feel
it was very extra, and he pushed Leroy, and so obviously Leroy pushed back.
Right.
And like I said, John had a proclivity for falling over, so John fell over, and then he immediately got up and ran back into the house and came out with Mr. Gacy, and Mr. Gacy was like, hey, why did you hit my kid? And then Mr. Gacy...
Hit the kid?
Hit the kid. Yeah, he punched a child.
Oh, fuck, he punched a kid?
He punched a kid! Yeah, his dad punched a kid. I mean, he punches his own kids, but he punched a kid.
Yeah, you can't punch other people's kids.
No. So, Barry was like, that, you cannot fucking do that. Yeah. He's like, that is out of line. Because, like, Barry was also very afraid of, obviously,
John's
Mr.
dad,
Gacy.
yeah.
And because he saw so much of his own father in him. So it was very hard for him to, like, speak up. Because, I mean, he saw John get abused all the time. And
he didn't want that.
I mean,
he just saw another kid get hit, so why wouldn't he hit him?
Exactly. So they went and got Leroy's dad. And Leroy was like, hey, how are you? So, like, why the fuck did you hit my kid? And Mr. Gacy was like, because he hit my kid. And Barry says that he couldn't believe that John had lied. Because John ran in and basically was like, this kid started a fight with me. And Barry was like, you started it. Why are you lying? And he's like, John had never... I mean, these are the kind of thing. Like, he's like, John had never lied before. Like, he doesn't know that particularly. But, I mean,
he
like...
probably has lied before, but he just hadn't actually seen it in action.
Yeah, well, and he hadn't seen it, like, in that.
Yeah.
Like, where it was, like, malicious. You know what I mean? With a lot of people think above the, Jekyll and Hyde situation. Like, 1 minute he's fine, 1 minute he's crazy.
Like a switch.
Yep, like a switch. And after that, whenever Barry would walk past the house, John would ask him if he wanted to hang out, and Barry would be like, I'll be your friend again, but you have to admit that you lied about the fight with Leroy. And eventually, John admitted it and got grounded for about a month from his dad.
Barry really seems like he's got his head on his shoulders.
Barry has the best head on his shoulders.
Barry seems like a good kid.
And Barry wears bolo ties like, oh my god, I can't even get over it. So, as a teenager, John worked at an IGA grocery store, which was crazy, because so did I.
Yeah.
It's like weird. John went to multiple high schools, including Carl Schurz High School, Providence St. Mel, and the Cooley Vocational High, but he never graduated.
Oh.
In 1961, John ran away from home and moved to Las Vegas, where he worked at a mortuary. He was higher up in... Like, he had a higher-up job because he lied.
Interesting.
And so when they found out that he didn't have the proper, like, accreditation to be doing it, he just got... They're like, you're just going to be a janitor now.
What?
Yeah. Well,
what a weird demotion.
Well, it's better than, like, you're fired for pretending to be...
Yeah, it's a lot better. They should be like, you lied. Why would we want to keep you on our staff? They should have been like,
goodbye. But, I mean...
He was charismatic.
Well, yeah. So, but you will find out that they do have their lines. So... At this time, John would sometimes, at night, get in the caskets with the cadavers and
I've
just
heard
lay
about
with
this.
them.
It's fucked
There wasn't
up
anything
and
sexual about it. He
crazy.
was just trying things out because
Could
this
you
is
imagine wanting to do that?
no, because no.
Yeah, no.
No, like he was trying to find what out. He was like, "There's something like with me. Let's try like hanging out with dead people for a while." And
He figured it out quick.
Yeah,
so he knew.
and
what
so
he
did
wanted.
the mortuary because they found out that he was doing this, and that they fired him.
Yeah.
So that's the line. That's the line that you
Did you know?
Can't
And I
get in
found
there.
this out actually on a recent episode of Making
making a murderer from
my
the past.
favorite murder.
Okay.
Did you know that when like the mortuary people like take the bodies down, girls have to take male bodies and men have to take, or no, other way around, I'm sorry, women take women's bodies and men take men's bodies
Still to this
because
day?
so many people have had sex with corpses.
Oh my
that's like
god.
that's a thing.
But a guy could easily have sex with a male corpse.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of for sure. Like anyone can
What
have
do
sex
they
with
do?
anyone.
Tie up their buttholes?
I don't know, dude.
I know. Aftermath. Watch the short film
Ew,
Aftermath.
Don't
Don't do it. So,
Please.
despite not having a high school diploma, somehow John was able to enroll at Northwestern and graduated with a degree in business.
Yeah, what the fuck?
I don't get that.
Right.
That was 1962. In
You
1963...
would lie about things more. There wasn't the internet.
True, I guess. I mean, maybe you didn't have to show paperwork. They were just like, sure, right.
Yeah. You sounded like you went to high school.
You went to 4 colleges, I'm sure, like, you graduated from one of them. We believe you. He was very charismatic, and, you know, maybe he could
People really liked him.
People really liked him.
Except his dad.
His dad did not like him. So, when he was fired for, you know, hanging out with dead bodies, which isn't cool, like I said, he...
Chillin' in Caskets, the name of my second album.
Yeah.
Catch it on SoundCloud.
Oh my god. So when he moved back to Chicago, he started working at a shoe store and did so well at a shoe store that he was transferred to Springfield, Illinois. He lived with his aunt, and he joined the Springfield Junior Chamber of Commerce. Like
Home of
we
the
said,
Abraham Lincoln Wax Museum. Yes, ma'am.
home to lots. I think that's where Lincoln's body is.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Lincoln there.
We love Lincoln.
We, really like Abraham Lincoln. We're like Lincoln heads. It's crazy. In September of 1964, John married Marilyn Myers, and they moved to Waterloo, Iowa to be closer to Marilyn's family. Her dad owned a chain of Kentucky Fried Chickens, and when it came to choose a manager, his charismatic, go-getting son-in-law was the obvious choice.
Yeah.
Except John was gross, and he made everyone call him Colonel. I'd be
Who
like,
isn't hungry for fried chicken right now? That's what I'm wondering, because my mouth instantly filled with saliva.
see, I'm grossed out, because he seems like the type of guy who would just every once in a while, look around to make sure no one was looking and dip his fingers in the gravy.
And lay down with the chickens.
And then lay down with the dead chickens. Yeah, no, he was definitely...
Actually, KFC is really fucked up, and they're really inhumane about the way they kill their chickens.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that.
So it makes sense that he would be
no, I'm sure
working for them.
You know, he put his big...
He probably implemented a lot of the killing things.
That didn't have any... I mean...
I know, I'm kidding.
But you know he was putting those big bear claw hands just, eating mashed potatoes.
Oh, girl. Creating, he probably was making KFC, whatever bowls. What are those called?
Those disgusting...
Maria fucking loves those. I don't get why there's cheese.
There's
That's the part that can... I love fucking cheese, but it is not needed in that situation.
They still
it doesn't even
make
melt.
those?
Hell yeah.
There's some comedian who makes a joke
Famous
about...
bowls.
Yes. Oh, famous for being horrible. Forget which comedian, but they say that there's a layer of cigarettes. There's a layer. I want to say Jim Gaffigan. So, anywho's all. In 1966, his son Michael was born, and in 1967, his daughter Christine was born. Also in 1967, John assaulted a 16-year-old boy, tried to molest him, and that's a really weird way to honor the birth of your daughter.
Yeah. This is where things start getting So what's weird
Rapey.
is he didn't have any sexual experiences with men when he was younger that we know about. But we also don't really know about what he was doing when he was younger with girls either, so all of a sudden he's married.
Yeah, and in the one article, or the one paper that was published that I'm like, is it true? I don't know. But they do mention that in 1964 he had his first sexual encounter with a man.
Huh.
So, IDK.
Okay.
IDK. ID.
Who knows, dude?
Who knows? Who even knows? And that was the year he married Marilyn. So, any whoozle. He started an unofficial boys club for his male employees. I think people have heard about this a lot, where he would like invite them over. They would all like
give them a
smoke
chance to hang out
pot.
with young boys.
Yeah, he would give them alcohol. They'd watch porn.
Ugh.
And he would
It sounds like the grossest hang session
ever.
Like, the weed sounds cool, but other than that, like I am out.
Oh my
it
god,
probably smells.
Morgan, it's
so
1960s
gross in the room
weed.
where they're all hanging out.
Ew. You know it was the basement.
It smells like farts and Kentucky Fried Chicken leftovers.
And it smells like shitty 60s weed. So and he also would like start blowjobs for pool games.
Ew.
Yeah, he was gross. So also in 1967 he began a relationship with a different 16-year-old boy. The relationship was ongoing until the boy told his father. In 1968, the 16-year-old makes a statement to the police that he was molested by John Wayne Gacy. John fails a polygraph test and is indicted on charges of sodomy. He requested another polygraph test to prove his innocence and said that the relationship was mutual. The kid wanted to be part of it, and they had gotten in a fight, and the kid was just trying to blackmail him. So John hired an 18-year-old boy to beat up the 16-year-old boy, and the boy that he had hired was being questioned by the police, and John had told him, obviously, to lie and say that he hadn't done anything, but the kid told them everything, probably because he was also terrified of John. So John was charged with attempting to suborn perjury, which is when you force another person to commit perjury.
Right, when you make someone else do your dirty work.
Do your dirty work, yeah. So he was also charged with malicious threats to extort and breaking and entering. And he like pled guilty.
Assault.
Yeah, well he pled guilty to the molestation.
Yeah.
So he was ordered to have a psychiatric evaluation, and he was found competent to stand trial, but he was diagnosed with antisocial personality disorder, and then was sentenced to 10 years in the Iowa State Reformatory for Men. Also, in 1969, Marilyn was like, fuck you, filed for divorce, and told John he was never allowed to see his kids again.
And he probably didn't.
No, because at one point he tried to get visitation rights, and she was like, no, and he's like, I think it comes up, he like says he says something really cold.
I don't really care if I see them ever again.
Yeah, he's like, I don't even care if they're dead or something. Like, he says something really, really nasty about his kids. It may come up late in a later
Do we ever
episode.
know anything about him doing things to his kids, beating them, touching them, anything like that?
No, I didn't read anything about it.
And you'd think that, I mean, who knows? We don't know
Well,
what goes on behind closed doors.
So John was a model prison inmate, of course, because he was always a little kiss-ass. He worked in the kitchen because of his chef skills as the colonel.
What chef skills?
He knew how to cook. I don't know.
Okay, he worked at a KFC.
Well, he wasn't allowed to cook at home with his mom, but I bet they made a cake every once in a while when J. Wayne Gacy Sr. was gone.
Yeah.
So he also received his GED, which is weird because he already had a bachelor's.
Yeah, what the fuck? Can you go backwards and, like, if you already have a bachelor's, what's the effing point?
What's the fucking point? You get a GED or a high school diploma so that you can get a bachelor's.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense, but, like, whatever.
But, like, okay.
Okay. Maybe he just wanted the piece of paper, but do you want a piece of paper that says you got a GED? I don't know.
No.
So, I don't want to throw... If you got your GED, then fuck yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. I hate school, too. So, only after serving... Keep in mind, he was sentenced to 10 years after 18 months.
I know, it's how it always
Big
works
boy
out.
got released.
Crazy, huh?
he was paroled, and he moved back to Chicago with his mom. And that
is when it all kind of starts.
And that's where it all kind of starts. And so that's where we're going to stop this episode.
Yeah.
Because the
next episode is going to be all about
killings
the murders, y'all.
and murders. Because this is when he goes back
Which is
to
the, let's be real, a little more interesting part. But this is the stuff that you need to know. I mean, if you are a true crime fucking lover, you are getting the goddamn lowdown.
Yeah. Also, if you loved listening to Barry's point of view, don't worry, because he'll be back in the later episodes. Because around 1960, Barry moved away when, around, high school-ish age. Mm-hmm. And so they, you lose touch like you do when people move away.
Yeah, this happens.
Barry has some very interesting stories from when John came back.
Yeah.
Because when John came back, he became very close to Barry's dad.
Oh.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And so that's
where we're going to leave you
where we're going to leave you at.
A little taste.
Of
what's to come.
A little taste. Barry, thank you for filling in these childhood stories and pieces.
Like the holes in John's brain.
So, yeah, there is a point in the episode where he basically... So he's telling this story. Apparently John, and before the swing incident, had a beautiful singing voice.
John did?
John did, yes. I know that's funny to think about now, but he had apparently this beautiful voice. And, they would all get together. I feel like in, the 50s, 60s, 70s,
everyone's trying to create a doo-wop thing.
Well, no. Well, but for Christmas Eve, I feel like people and their friends got together a lot.
Yeah,
and had,
totally.
Christmas Eve parties. Or maybe that's...
Love it. Love
maybe
Christmas
that's what
Eve
people
parties.
do now, and we're just used to, family things.
Yeah.
But it was always a very, very big deal at these parties when... John would sing "Oh Holy Night," and so.
Oh, then he must have had some pipes.
Yeah, Barry said.
Macaulay Culkin in the second Home Alone.
Yeah, when
that solo.
Yeah,
Buzz fucks it up.
Buzz fucks it up, and that fake tree falls on the piano teacher.
All right, you guys, we've gotten so far off base.
No, but what were we just talking about? Oh, no, but Barry, in the documentary, when he started talking about that, he just started breaking down. He's like, I'm really sorry. He's like, I don't want to glorify my friend. He's like, but I miss him. And he's like, and still when I hear that song, I'm just like, I'm just like, Johnny, I hope you found peace. And he was literally it was like watching the saddest parts of Titanic and Schindler's List at the same fucking time, Morgan. I was crying so
I can picture
hard.
it because you do it a lot.
And but hard.
Yeah, I know.
Hysterically. Hysterically.
For sure.
Which I do a lot, but this was Dear Zachary level.
Yeah, that was hard.
Because he was bawling. Okay. He was crying because he
Once
was
you said Dear Zachary, oh god,
yeah,
you guys.
That's how it was. Because he's just I was his big brother. He's like, I would be sitting next to him on the couch. He's like, I just feel like there's something I could have done. He's like, people always say,
don't blame yourself.
Don't blame yourself. He's like, but they weren't there. They didn't know. They don't know how it feels to have that kind of guilt.
Right.
And he's like, I just don't know what to say. He's like, I can't say anything else. He was my friend, and I miss him, and I'm allowed to miss my friend.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Women still love their husbands even after they do horrible things. It's hard
I mean,
not
he
to
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, yeah. And he didn't, yeah, I mean, I love you, Barry. So that's where we're going to leave you until next time.
Yeah, you guys, we will see you next week for part 2.
Part 2 of the Gacy series. Follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/The Sisters Grimm Podcast.
Hit us up on Instagram at The Sisters Grimm Podcast.
Twitter, Sisters Grimm Pod.
Does anyone Twitter anymore? I don't. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm sorry.
Oh, I get on there every once in a while, but...
It's a lot.
Me bad at social media.
Me bad at Twitter.
Me bad Twitter. Me get overwhelmed by Twitter.
Yeah. All right, you guys. We will see you next week.